Good morning, welcome to Chamonix in the French Alps, home of Mont Blanc and a lot of other impressive mountains, as you can see just up ahead of me. I was here briefly last year as part of the Tour de Mont Blanc hike I did, which is a 100-mile hike around the Mont Blanc range, passing through Italy, France and Switzerland. I'm here this year because a friend of mine who's a lot fitter than I am is doing an ultramarathon trail run on the same route. He'll be doing more than 100 kilometres with 20,000 feet of elevation gain in one push, which is impressive. It's the equivalent of hiking 2/3 of the way up Everest, so pretty insane stuff. So I'm here to cheer him on, but the race isn't for a few days, so in the meantime I'm just going to explore the Chamonix Valley and do a few day hikes and things around here. I bought a guidebook, the 50 best Chamonix day walks, so I'm just going to choose a few of those and do them over the next coming days. But first, before I start all that, I'm going to go into Chamonix town itself. It's one of the most picturesque towns you can imagine, just right on the foot of Mont Blanc with the glacier coming down. So I'm going to set up from town now. I didn't get a chance to see much of it last year, so keen to see what it has to offer. Well, I've set off on the first walk I'm going to do this week, which is to Lac Blanc, a lake that sits very high up above the Chamonix Valley. On a good clear day like today, has unobstructed views across the entire Mont Blanc range and all the way into Switzerland, so I'm looking forward to getting there and seeing that. The walk begins in a section of Chamonix called Lac Glacier, which is about a 10-minute bus drive from the centre of Chamonix town itself. And one of the really nice things about staying in Chamonix is that if you're staying in a hotel, a guest house or a B&B or something, you're entitled to a free transport card giving you free access to all the buses and trains which run up and down the valley and take you to all the popular tourist destinations and trailheads, so it's an excellent way to get about. The hike today is a steep one. From Chamonix town up to the lake is about a 1,400 metre climb. To put that in context, the highest mountain in the UK is about that, so definitely steep. When you get to Lac Glacier, there is a cable car which cuts out the first 1,000 metres. But when I got to this morning, there was a huge queue and I just don't have much patience for things like that, so I decided to just hike up the hill. And as you can see, already rewarded with great views. Chamonix town down there, the Mont Blanc range up here, and Mont Blanc itself in the centre of the screen. Another reason to hike rather than take the cable car is that on the way up you pass through a refuge called La Floria, which is meant to be one of the nicest ones in the Alps, good for food and excellent views. So you should reach that in about another 10 or 15 minutes walking. From there it's on to the top of the La Glacier cable car station, and then the final 400 metres or so to Lac Blanc. So time to set off. Lac Blanc, I'm now on a path called the Grand Balcony, and you can see why. Pretty much all the big sites, all the landmarks of the Alps are visible. There's the Mer de Glace glacier, largest glacier in the Alps. You have the Aiguille de Midi cable car, which is the highest in the Alps. I think Europe, 3,800 metres, just a remarkable feat of engineering. You won't be able to see it here, but I will zoom in and maybe be able to see it there. And then you've got Mont Blanc itself, just the big snow-covered dome you see there. So I'm walking back now to Lac Glacier, but it's difficult to make any progress because the views are just so good from here. It's definitely the best walk I've ever done. Quite a rocky descent to Lac Glacier, about 500 metres or so. And from there I will make my way back down to Chamonix for some dinner. Well, another day, another hike. Today I'm doing a hike called the Junction. It's very popular in the Chamonix Valley. Essentially there's two huge glaciers that flow from Mont Blanc. One's called the Bossons and one's called the Taconnaz. Hope I'm getting those pronunciations right. But the junction is the ridge between the two of them, and apparently the views from there are spectacular. Although the weather forecast for today isn't looking so great, cloudy and foggy and things, so I don't know how much of view I'll have at the top. But I've been climbing out for about 45 minutes and I've reached the Chamonix Glacier, which is the first rest stop. And two things really to know about that. The first is it has artefacts, the two pretty horrendous plane crashes that happened in the Mont Blanc area. The first was in 1950 and the second was in 1966. Both were Air India planes and both crashed into the mountain, killing everybody on board. So they have some artefacts there, like plane tyres and engines and things. And I think a hiker who was doing the Junction last year on the ridge found some body parts which they think date back to those incidents, so hopefully I don't come across anything like that later on. The other thing is that there's a ski lift that takes you to the Chamonix Glacier, which cuts out the first 400 metres of climbing, which I didn't realise until I got here. It would have been quite handy because today is a big climb. It's 1500, almost 1600 metres of ascent, so really it's the equivalent of climbing Ben Nevis. So there's no chairlift to the top, it just has to be done by old-fashioned slogging up hills. So it's time I set off. Well, I just passed the 2,000 metre mark there and the mist just really closed in quickly. I don't think I've ever seen mist close in that fast. Visibility, as you can see, is down to about, I don't know, 15 metres. Really can't see much at all. I can hear other walkers in the distance, can't see anybody though. I've got about another hour's hike until I reach the Junction. So I'm really hoping that the mist clears as soon as it came down, but we'll see. Strange things have happened. So about an hour or so to get there, and fingers crossed for a bit of a miracle. Well, I've made it to the Junction and it's absolutely freezing, but I suppose that's to be expected. I'm sitting on top of the glacier at the minute. It's also starting to snow, so I won't be able to record very long. I just don't want the camera to get damaged. But on a good day, the views from here are supposed to be some of the best from the Alps. Unfortunately, I didn't really get a good day. The visibility, as you can see, is still very poor. But the glacier itself is very, very impressive. You see the big cracks of the seracs and things in it. And quite a scary place as well. You wouldn't really want to fall down into there. You'd probably never get out again. The final section of the walk is quite difficult. It's not really a path, it's more of a scramble up rock, and because it's very slippery and slick at the minute, that part was quite difficult. But although the views are not what I hoped for today, I did accomplish two firsts. This is my first time in a glacier, and it's also the highest I've ever hiked to, just shy of 2,600 metres. The last 50 metres or so, just before you come up, you pass underneath two large rocks, and that's where the first two climbers who summited Mont Blanc way back in 1786 took shelter on their first night. So I'm actually going to follow in their footsteps, go down to the stones, have a quick bite to eat, some water, then head back down because it's absolutely Baltic and I need to warm up. Good morning. Well, this morning I got the train from Chamonix Centre to Vallorcine, which is the last large French village before the Swiss border. You can see Vallorcine just down there. I've hiked up for the last 45 minutes or so to get to this height, so not too much further to go before we reach the trail today, which is a trail that's going to take me across into Switzerland to Emosson Dam. It's not that far of a walk, it's only 7 miles, but it is quite a steep climb out of Vallersine, about 1,000 metres. But the good thing is, once you reach that height, apparently it's a high alpine route which doesn't really descend much further, so I'm going to be able to stay on a high path all the way to the dam and hopefully get some good views. So a combination of the high route and the good weather today, it's blistering sunshine, hopefully make for some spectacular scenery, so time to set off. After taking in the impressive views around Emosson Dam, I made my way back to France using the dam's equally impressive transport system. This involves a monorail, then a miniature train that travels along the side of a very steep mountain, and finally a regular train. All of this got me back to Chamonix in time to see the sun set over the Mont Blanc range, a perfect end to a fantastic few days of hiking.